Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to my channel. Now guys, may I tell you no, woman wicked Well, me know say everybody have a bit of evil in them, both male and female, but with the particular case that I have here now, me have to say it, and me have to say it again. Woman wicked. Me say guys, I got a call on Saturday from a young lady. She was referred to me by a friend I have in Waterhouse named Bobby. And she related a story to me that is so touching that me I tell you, say, man, water almost come on my eye. I don't remember how to cry, cause but water nearly come on my eye. I thought about it all weekend, and I say, let me put out a video because trust me, guys, this is a learning curve. But this is a situation in which a girl, some a man, so some a little young youth, so bad that at this time him a plan to hurt her. And I had to have him call me later on in the evening, Saturday evening, and I had to speak to him and try to get him to calm down and be rational about the situation. Now, here is what actually happened. It's his sister who really related the story to me before him because she was frantic that he was going to get himself in that trouble. Now, here's what happened. This guy, he's a plumber. He works for a company, a construction company here in Jamaica, and they do have a few big jobs across the island. And he lives in Kingston. He lives in the Kingston 11 area. And he got this job where he had to stay on the north coast at a location where they were building a massive building. And the building took about 3 years to build. While he was there, he works both in the plumbing, putting the plumbing network in the building, and doing the solar water heater, which is attached to the plumbing. So he gets good money. And when he went down there, he was single because at the time when he went down, he was only 22. And while working at that job, he met a girl who lives in that community down there on the north coast. And they got into a relationship. But at the time she was living with her mother. And he needed somewhere to stay because they had a little... He could only come back to town one day a week, which is his 1 day off. And sometime him don't spend the time come up. Him just stay down there. So he met this girl. Them like each other. And they decide to have a relationship. Now, at the time she was living with her mother. And they didn't have any space in the house for him to stay. Because I think she and must say one of her sister or niece share a room. So they went out. She knew somebody who had a place that they could rent. And she went and contacted that person that she knew who had the place. And yes, she got the place. The landlord gave them the go ahead. And he gave her the money to rent the place, pay the deposit and everything. Then he gave her money to go to courts and buy some furniture put in the place. So week after week, month after month, she was going, he gave her money and she would go to courts or whichever furnishing place and she got furniture. And eventually they had a nice one bedroom. It was a 1 bedroom with living room and kitchen and everything. And he furnished the place from scratch because they get the place empty. The only thing she bring into the flat was her clothes. He did everything. Now, what happened is that over the 3 years, they had everything in the place. And during that time, she was going to Sam Sharp Teachers College. So You know, they had a house together. And he was planning, say, eventually they would get married. You know, because she's an ambitious girl and thing. Anyway, after 3 years and that building was completed, there was not another big contract for him to get at the time where he could earn that type of money afterwards. So there were some smaller jobs, but they were in town and they didn't pay as much. So he would he came up back and moved back to town, sort of. Not really move up back, but he moved up back into his mother's house where he would work on the job over the Monday to Friday and would head down back to the North Coast for Saturday and Sunday. And sometimes he didn't go down there every week. He just send down the rent. And she would pay the rent and he would send down the money, her maintenance money for her food and all of that. But he would go down there like once a week, sometimes once every 2 weeks, on occasions once every 3 weeks. And it continued like that for about a year. Then sometimes he would get a big job, lasting maybe a month, where you get a big money and so on. But for the most part, it was smaller jobs he was getting. Anyway, eventually things slackened off to the point where nothing was coming in after about a year. Nothing much was coming in. And he was struggling to pay the rent down there. You know, and he tell her, because in that phase of time, you know, she graduated from nursing college and now was just working at a school. So she now working in Ministry of Education. She getting a salary. Him say, listen, here what you do. I don't have no money to send down for the rent this week. Here what you do. You pay the rent, right? When I have it, I'll reimburse you. And every time him tell her that, it's like she can't handle it. She have things to do. She have that to do. She have that to do, and so on and so on. Her money too short. The Ministry of Education didn't pay her full salary, or her family in a problem. But for one reason or the other, anytime he can send it down, him have to work enough and send down two. If him owe a month, if it was a month in the back or what, because she would decide that she wouldn't pay it. Sometimes say the one bill she would pay in the house was the internet. Because, I mean, naturally she want her phone to work and her computer, laptop, whatever. But the only bill in the house, and he would have to send on her food money, because there are times when she just claims, say, she hungry. Even though she at work, she ball to him up here, say she hungry. So that was what he was going through. So to the point where sometime when he send down the thing by Western Union, the money, he can't afford to go down. So he would just stay in town. You understand? So one time he went down there now, him have money, and him go down there, carry the rent, and say him not sent it by Western Union, him just go down. And when him go down, him realize say she was coming. She didn't know he was coming, but he actually had a key, so he could have gone in whenever he wanted. Only to find out man closing at the place. So him and she kick off when she come, because him just go in at the flat and expect say when she come home she would see him there. So him go in there and him a cook and thing and where and when him looking at clothes him say man things and so on and so forth. So them kick off. That night she called police on him, and police come and him tell the police say me say me that go on bad, and you know threaten her some way, you know. But in any case, what happened is that she called police and tell the police that she afraid for her life or whatever, and she don't want him to stay there. And this was like 11 o'clock in the night. Now, him don't know nobody else down there really more than so where he could stay with. So him had to sleep at the police station that night. Next morning, he came back to town. So him decides, you know, the relationship is over. Him don't really want to have anything to do with her, because he realized she was a total liability. Because when she wasn't working, I was going to school, it was him who was supporting her And know that she him sort of fall not sort of on hard time then, but he's not up to the scratch where he was before. She is not helping to pull the weight or helping to pull him up. So he realized that this is just not the girl for him. So he's in town now. He called her and said, listen, him said that the amount of furniture she have in the house was valued about maybe 1.3 million dollars. Because him say that one of the last things we buy in December before he came back to town was a 52-inch plasma TV. On top of the 32-inch they have in the bedroom. Him buy a 52, the 32-inch was in the living room. Him put in the bedroom and buy a 52-inch put in the living room. And so on. So, and double door fridge with automatic ice maker and all kind of something. So he was really fixing up the house. Now him a catch back in mother house. So him tell the girl, say, listen, here what? I want some of the furniture in the house. Because of my money by the whole of them. The girl tell him, say him can't get anything. And him can't come there, they come touch anything. Because everything in a fair name. Now, he is in a plan, say him going to hurt her. Because him don't believe, say, him should get treatment like that. After all that he has done. And now that him is at a stage, he wants to start him life again. And him have nothing to start him life with. Because she has everything. She has used up all of his resources. And now she turned her back on him. The reason why his sister called me was that she is afraid that him going to go down there because he come from Kingston 11. And if him want to get a gun, him can get it. And him will go down there and blaze her up. And him say, the sister say, you know, she would talk to me. And I'm saying, the advice I gave him was that he, the worst thing he could have done, was to have make she buy the furniture them. The only people in life you as a man should ever buy the furniture in them name is your mother or your wife. If it's something that you are going to be using. Because human beings will fail you. But if you give your mother something, even if it's yours and you buy it in your parents' name, at least them are your parents. They are the ones who took care of you. Or if you're giving a family member something, fine. But you don't do that to a woman unless it's your wife. And it's still a risk, but at least she have some legal commitment to you. I mean, the good part is that you are young. Because I have dealt on this channel with some full-grown ASS men. Full-grown ASS men in their 50s and 60s who should have known better. Who fall in the same trap like you. Not that they fell on their face. But the women that they have done the world for eventually fail them and walk away with everything. No, so for it to happen to you as a young man, it's just a lesson that you need to absorb and to know that this is something you're not the first and you'll not be the last. It happens every day. There's one born every minute. I don't know if this is a family court issue because she has no children for you. So, but you can check with the dispute resolution place. Go to family court and find out about the dispute resolution situation. Those people will be able to guide you and assist you if you and her can come to some agreement. So there'll be some restitution given considering it's a dispute. And these people will step in and have a meeting and a dialogue where you can all sit down around the table and discuss it and find out how it goes. So check with that dispute resolution authority. Can't even remember the name of it, but check it out, and they will guide you. And I'm quite sure these people are reasonable, and they'll never make you walk away without something. But from a legal standpoint, you don't really have a leg to stand on, because she can claim that you gave her everything as gifts, and it's just your words against hers. Yeah, so here is what I want you to do. There is a place named the Dispute Resolution Foundation, and they are at 5 Camp Road in Kingston 4. Contact them, go there, because these people are not gonna let you walk away empty-handed, because you have receipts to show that you bought everything, and they will compel her to give you something out of all the things that your hard-earned sweat has produced. Yeah? So try that. So do not do anything drastic. There are alternate ways of dealing with this. So guys, like, share, leave a comment, and I look forward to seeing my next video.